It began with a glance, not the kind that lights the sky on fire, not the kind that bends time and space into poetry. No, it was an ordinary glance, a passing flicker across a crowded lecture hall amid the rustling of notes and the hum of pre-class murmurs. He noticed her because she was laughing softly, quietly, as if trying to hide it, but failing. Her friend had said something, and she had leaned to whisper a reply. The light from the window made her profile glow faintly. It wasn't love at first sight. It wasn't even attraction. It was curiosity, a small tug at the corner of his mind, a question he hadn't asked yet. She, on the other hand, didn't notice him that day. Not the next either. Her mind was cluttered with syllabi and sleep deprivation, assignments, and distractions. The world was a blur of deadlines, and she moved through it with calculated urgency. He saw her again 2 weeks later in the library. He was there because of an unfinished paper and a professor with no patience. She was there because the silence of the library steadied her lots better than any cafe ever could. There was only one seat left in the left corner. She sat across him. They noted the unspoken way strangers do when acknowledging a short silence. For the remains, they did not speak, but silence, when shared long enough, becomes to hum, not loudly, just enough to be felt. She glanced at his laptop once, noticing that he kept backspacing every third word. He noticed the rhythm in the way she twirled her pen when deep in thought. She looked up once, caught him looking, and raised an eyebrow. He gave a sheepish smile and looked away. Still no words until he started getting snapped from the plug. Anymore. Seriously? She looked up. You okay? He blinked. It was the first time he heard her voice. It was softer than he expected. Measured. Yeah, he said, just my charger being dramatic. She smiled. Want to borrow mine? If it fits. He paused. It might worth a try. She reached into her bag, had a charger in the exchange of plastic and wire. Something vacant, something quiet, something possible. From then on, they saw each other more often by chance. At first in the hallway, by the vending machines, in the dusty corner of the campus of bookstore, they started noting more often than waving, than talking. He learned she loved nighttime thunderstorms and walking barefoot in the garden after it rained. She learned wrote poetry. He never showed anyone and secretly wanted to learn French, though he never had the courage to start. They met for coffee once. It turned to 2 hour conversation and about books and existential dread. They bumped into each other on Sunday and went for ice cream. He ordered chocolate chip. She tried to guess and got it right. He was stunned. From then on, they were always together, but never to find. Not yet. Some days they studied, other days they didn't. Sometimes they argued. He hated how she shut down emotionally. She hated how he made jokes instead of facing feelings. But always they found their way back. One evening, as they walked near the lake behind the campus, where the trees leaned like old philosophers and the air smelled like falling leaves, he asked, do you think this means something? She didn't answer right away. Instead, she began to lift the table between her fingers. It means what we let it mean. He nodded, not sure what that meant, but he stayed beside her. She didn't walk away. Days passed like petals dropping from an unseen flower. Weeks folded into each other. The air grew colder. Midterms came and went. The holidays approached. On the last day before winter break, they stood in the library again. Same table, same silence. He had a train ticket home. She had a flight in the morning. Neither spoke of what was going on without them. Finally, he asked, should we talk about this? She bit her lip. I don't know. He looked. What happens when we are apart? She looked him in the eyes. That's a real test, isn't it? He wanted to say something, anything, something brave, something poetic, but fear held his tongue hostage. She reached out gently and took his hand and said, let's just proceed first. He nodded, and that was enough. They texted over the break, long messages about the movies, short updates about family, blurry selfies in pajamas. One night, she called him at 1 a.m. just to hear his voice. They fell asleep at the phone, miles apart yet closer than ever. Spring came, they returned to campus like flowers pushing to soil, but things had changed. He was more confident now. She smiled more freely. They moved like two planets sharing the same orbit. They had kids beneath the old clock tower. No one planned it. They were arguing about Dostoevsky of all things, and in a moment exasperated silence, he leaned in. She didn't stop him. They looked met with surprise and certainty. From then now on, there was no more certainty. They were together, not loudly, not possessively, but deeply. They were to each other each day with quiet joy. They fought over stupid things. Each match cried these misunderstood words, but love they found wasn't perfect. It wasn't supposed to be. Love was laughing after crying. Love was apologizing first. Love was waiting outside the exam hall even when you didn't have to. Love was carrying extra snack because the other always forgot. Love was sending photos of sunsets with no captions. Love was presence, and it grew. Until one day, under sky painted with summer clouds, sat on a bench in their library, and he said, "I've been thinking about the future." She looked at him carefully, and "You are the one who has seen one, but you're not part of it." She didn't smile. She didn't say anything for a long moment. Then she said, "Neither do I." They didn't engage next day. There were no fairy tale declarations, just two people slowly leaning each other, making room for flaws, giving without reason, growing at a pace only they understood. The first time she saw him, he was asleep. Not the kind of soft, peaceful sleep you'd expect from someone tired after a long night. No, his head was buried in the crook of his elbow, his hoodie pulled over half of his face, a torn spiral notebook open beneath him, its pages ink smudged and creased. A pencil had rolled to the floor. His phone buzzed once. He didn't stare. She wrinkled her nose slightly and took the seat furthest from him. The library was almost empty. It was rainy Thursday afternoon, but she couldn't focus with someone like that nearby. This he felt unkempt, probably lazy. One of the students were barely scrapped by. She pulled out her laptop, adjusted her glasses, and dove into her annotated bibliography like it wasn't even there. It was only after an hour when she reached for her bottle. Then she heard movement. He still stretched, yawned quietly, and opened his eyes. She got the movement out of the corner of her eyes. He blinked in the windows. It was dark now. Then slowly he sat up straight. He didn't look her away. He rubbed his temples, straightened the pages in front of him, and picked up the pencil from the floor. For a moment he just stared at the mess of scribbles of his notebook. Then he tore out the page, started again. She glanced over without meaning to. His handwriting was neat. Mathematical symbols, formulas, equations. The cover made her chest tighten with dread. She had the numbers. She couldn't tell whether she was solving a physics problem or rewriting the foundation of the universe. He tapped the pencil on the desk, then abruptly erased the word again. This went for the next 30 minutes. She tried to ignore him, tried to focus on her work, but every time she looked up, he was writing, focused, intent, completely absorbed. Maybe he wasn't as lazy as she thought. When she finally picked up to leave, he looked up for the first time. Their eyes met briefly. He gave a small, polite nod. She hesitated, then returned it. The next day, she found him in the same spot. This time awake, he was already deep in his notebook, headphones in and nodding faintly to music only he could hear. She almost said everywhere, but something tugged at her curiosity. She took the seat across from him. He didn't look up, just kept writing. He wasn't even glancing at his phone. She tried to study, but her eyes kept flicking without his notebook. Course integral diagrams overflowing to her. Finally, she asked, "What are you working now?" He looked up, surprised, put out on the report. Signal processing, he said, voice low, but not unfriendly. Oh, she nodded like she understood, though she didn't. "I'm working for a model for filtering audio noise from all radio transmissions." He added like, "We could try anything." "Right," she said, blinking. A pause. "I'm writing a paper of Victorian poetry," she offered, unsure why. He smiled faintly. "Cool." She smiled back. And somehow just like that, they began to talk. Not much at first, just greetings. The occasional moment over the way, then the library or how long the week felt, but slowly something changed. She started to learn his name, though it wasn't spoken. She saw it scribbled into the top corner of his notebook. Three short letters, probably a nickname. He noticed the way she always color-coded notes and underlined sentences twice. She noticed he always carried a blue pen for work and black one for corrections. He would sometimes write on napkins when he read off paper. She once saw him give a sandwich to a shivering stray cat outside the library window. Another time, he helped old man find his way to the engineering lab, that being asked. None of it fit the boy she thought she saw on the first day. The one who looked up like he didn't care. One rainy evening they shared the study booth. Not on purpose, the library was packed for finals. "Guess we're together," she said. "Could be worse," he replied. She laughed. She asked him about his project. He explained it surprisingly simple terms. She asked why he always late. "I work during the day," he said, flipping a page. "Or like a part-time job, too." Her eyes lifted. "Why?" He shrugged. "Scholarship doesn't cover everything. Rent's not cheap." She didn't know what to say. Her parents paid her rent, her textbooks, even her meal plan. She felt quite a guilt settle in her stomach. He added gently, not complaining, just part of the deal. She nodded slowly. "Still, that's a lot." He didn't respond, but he smiled, said thank you. They didn't study much that night. Not really. They talked instead about childhood, about music, about the ways The world had shaped them differently. She learned his father left when he was 7. He learned her mother was pressure her to get her perfect grades. She told him she sometimes cried when no one was around. He told her he sometimes screamed in empty parking lots just to feel heard. And yet neither pitied the other. They just listened, and the listening became a ritual. Day by day, they began to obey each other with subtle gravity. They exchanged book recommendations. He hated her love for Bronte. She couldn't stand his obsession with sci-fi. Still, they read what the other gave. He sent her a playlist of ambient scene music that him concentrated. She made him flashcards set for her course, was talking about his major. They teased each other, argued playfully, and laughed too much in silent sessions. One afternoon, she brought two coffees, placed one beside him without a word. He looked up, surprised. They smiled. You remember my order? Of course, she said. He only mentioned it every third sentence. They shared more than a coffee after that. Walks between classes, dinner at corner cafe. One Saturday, they ran into each other in a bookstore. He was in line, holding a worn paperback in quantum theory. Let me guess, she said, pleasure reading. He grinned. What, you don't bring physics to the beach? She rolled her eyes. Nerd. Later, they will tell friends it started with a coffee, or a shared table, or a playlist. But really, it started with a second look. The kind you only give when you stop believing the first one.